Hi, my name is Nathan, and welcome to the Daily Word. On today's episode of the Daily Word, we'll be in Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 9. Let's read the scripture together on the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
Do not be quickly provoked in your spirit, for anger resides in the lap of fools.
Our daily word for today is the word provoked. Let's say this word together. Provoked. What does that word provoked mean? Well, when you provoke something, or if someone is provoked, it means that something is happening intentionally to create a reaction. So something is happening, maybe someone is saying something or doing something because they want a reaction to happen. So you say that someone provoked another person to do this thing. So for example, in school, you have bullies. You have bullies that pick on weaker kids or pick on certain kids or students at the school. And they're provoking them. They're pushing them, they're saying words to them, they're treating them in a way that wants to get a reaction. So when you're just in a healthy relationship, you're not provoking each other. You're communicating, you're listening to the other person, you're sharing in that interaction. It's 50-50. You're going back and forth. You talk, the other listens, you listen, the other person talks. It goes back and forth, and it's a loving situation, hopefully. But when you're provoking someone, it means that you don't have the best interests of that relationship and that you are not approaching that relationship in a loving way. You're provoking someone because you want them to say something else. It's not a loving way to approach interaction or communication. So you can say a bully provoked the other student by doing certain things so that they could get a reaction. So, being provoked or to provoke means that you're doing something or something is being done to you to create a reaction. Someone knows that a reaction could happen if they do this thing. And usually it's a very negative thing. To provoke something is usually in a negative context or connotation. To provoke or be provoked. So now that we have an understanding of the word provoke, let's take it back into Ecclesiastes. So here, the verse says, do not be easily provoked, or don't be quickly provoked. So this is wisdom teaching to the person being provoked. And what he's saying is don't be quickly provoked. We live in a world where people are very quick to be offended. We live in a world where people are very quick to create conflict and drama. For whatever reasons behind each of those decisions or that behavior, that's the nature of the world we live in. And there are so many opportunities throughout your day. I don't know what time you're watching this, but take the next 24 hours and you will be provoked. There are certain things happening in your life that are creating certain responses. And some of those are intentional. Some of those things are intentionally trying to create a reaction out of you. Other times, it's just the nature of the place that we live, being in this world. That there are certain things that create reactions and responses. Negative responses, anger, frustration, sadness, bitterness. Those things get provoked because of the world that we live in and the things that happen. But this wisdom from Ecclesiastes says, don't be quickly provoked. Don't be someone that is so quick to be offended. Don't be someone that is so quick to be provoked and to allow yourself to indulge in those feelings of bitterness and hatred and anger and sadness. Instead, knowing Jesus and knowing that in his entire ministry, how he was surrounded by provocation, he was surrounded by things that were provoking him, intentionally and unintentionally, provoking him to get a response, to get him to act in a certain way, and he didn't. There was self-control, not because he was doing it for the sake of self-control, but because he knew what they were doing, because the Lord was giving him wisdom, and he knew that it wasn't going to bring the Lord glory, and it wasn't going to honor the Lord to give in to that provocation. But it was a more righteous thing to just receive it and to allow the Lord to deal with it. And in your situation, instead of being the person that's quick to fight back or quick to be provoked and then indulge in that behavior that is not for the Lord and from the Lord, go to Christ and see how He humbled Himself and was not quickly provoked. And even in your life, to see that the Lord, even the way you have lived many years not honoring the Lord, how He has been patient with you, with me. And He has not been quickly provoked to punish or to discipline. But He's waited, He's been patient, there's been self-control, and there's been a desire to love. So, because of this verse, because of Jesus, don't be quickly provoked. Allow the Lord to carry that burden. Take all of that burden of why you're feeling provoked and give it to the Lord and say, Lord, take this from me. Take this burden from me. And He will. And He will give you wisdom and a perspective that allows you to not indulge in anger and vengeance and bitterness and hatred, but to rely and rest in the presence of the Lord and His peace. Be holy and set apart. Don't be like the world, which is so easily provoked. But go to Christ and let Him take the burden and have peace. Well, that does it for today's episode of the Daily Word. If you like this video or if you found it helpful, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. Or more importantly, go ahead and try to use this word in a daily sentence. What are some things that provoke you? How are you easily provoked? But again, go deeper and ask yourself, what are those things that provoke you? And what do you do in response? Are you quickly provoked? Or do you allow the Lord to take that burden? Do you allow the Lord and do you allow Christ and His life to be the example and the power in your life to not be provoked, but to love in return and to rest in His peace? Well, my name is Nathan, and this was your Daily Word. See you next time.